as he unmutes his microphone. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Matt Rum's Talking Skritt. I'm your host, Jim, and this week we've got, a whole bunch of stuff. Icebrood Saga Chapter 2, Power, has been revealed. We got a trailer for it. ArenaNet is sadly terminating support for their Mac client. And how much RAM do you need for Guild Wars 2? But first, let me get to my fellow hosts. She streams on Twitch under multiple accounts and also has multiple social medias. She's ready to throw down in the new Dragon Roar missions. Wait, that's not what they're called? Say hello to Arlie.
Hey, how are you today?
Listen, all the intros were done on the fly real quick. I couldn't come up with anything terribly witty, but
It's good. It's good.
And he streams over on Twitch, where he answers the age-old question, will the Stone Skin Infusion protect me from backstabs? Say hello to Age.
The great Doris power is upon you all.
That certainly sounds promising. And finally, clearly we're digging deep if the Deldrimor are involved. Are we going to dig up any other secret allies? Say hello to Deo.
Oh, I wish. But I mean, to be fair, I don't bother with RAM for Guild Wars 2. It's Dolyax all the way.
Okay, then we're going to start the show with that. So, off the top of the list, Icebrood Saga Champions Chapter 2, Power, is going to be releasing this next Tuesday, the 19th. It introduces 4 new Dragon Response missions in the Fields of Ruin, Thunderhead Peaks, Lake Doric, and Snowden Drifts. We have new allied factions in the Deldrimor Dwarves. You're going to be getting rewards, the Stretch emote, the Deldrimor Stone Skin Infusion, more battle benefits and vendor items from the Mastery Track vendor. And I have the trailer here, if I had remembered to put that up for the start of this. So give me 30 seconds while the rest of y'all talk about it and I get that open.
You face the least of what Primordial.
Rubbing the mouse all over your face, Deo.
The death and destruction will make mortal wars seem as dreams.
Hold on one. Damn it, I'm
Work
clicking
through
on...
me, Jormag, that through you the world might be preserved.
While you're figuring that out, it's on my face again. I do have to find it funny, like when I saw like this, like you can get the /stretch emote. I was like, I mean, granted, I do like in-game rewards. Like it could have easily been in the Gemstore.
Right.
But I part of me wants to laugh because probably for the umpteenth time I've made the joke about Guild Wars 1. I know we have the ability to, but for the heck of it, put /jump in.
Oh, God.
This is a good throwback.
Yeah, we're getting all these old allies and stuff. Yeah, let's put /jump back in.
Stretch, it might be. I don't know if they have it in here. Like the /stretch was like part of the old idol, like where they kind of
I was
put
gonna say I
their hands
don't know if
back
they
like that.
show it off in the trailer.
No. Sure, yay.
But yeah, I'm excited. If you like, definitely go watch the trailer because there's dialogue behind it, and
It's good. I like the trailer, especially. God,
I was gonna say it definitely makes it seem like Jormag really, really, truly does want to be friends, and we were misjudging him. And we're terrible.
except for the fact that it shows the
I was
player
like, wait,
characters
what?
fighting against Icebrood.
yeah, I
that's the
believe that
entire
for a second,
trailer.
Arlie. I was like, did I miss the wrong? Did I watch the wrong trailer?
Dave was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, wait, did I watch like last episode ones or something? Like I was so confused. I was like,
Yeah,
We're all friends now.
I actually really kind of dig the fact that we're starting to see like the turn here. Mm-hmm. I'm fully expecting it to be something along the lines of "You're not fighting hard enough. I'm here to help you."
Yeah, yeah.
And then like the Icebrood just kind of start killing everything in the area, including the people you're trying to save for the dragon response.
I mean, in the
missions.
trailer, you do see how it's like it looked like Gandharn Fields was being iced over, which I don't know if that's going to be in
It's not.
the Mesmer time bubble or just specifically like a DRM.
It's probably going
like-
to be in the DRM.
The way I imagine it is like the Icebrood come in to help, but then like start trying to turn the people we're saving into Icebrood because that saves them.
Okay.
So it's like we did it for you to save you because
Yeah.
we're good. We're
saving
good people.
You're better now.
You're welcome.
Yeah. ugh. I'm looking at it looks like we're getting some upgrades possibly because that one sword that has like the red gems along it, that one right there that popped up, that is a model from previous, right? And it looks more upgraded. So
Yeah, because they do say that there's going to be more weapons and the ability to upgrade them. But I thought you were referring to we were all going to be upgraded by being able to be Delgemore stone skin people. You know.
yeah, the stone skin infusion seems pretty cool. And Random Roach, the question is, will there be anybody to make beer if Jormag rules Tyria?
Right. And then also everything else will be cold too, which would be terrible.
So there will be someone to make beer. The Delgemore dwarves are stone, so you can't really freeze a rock like.
You
all that
can't freeze rock.
Wait.
Rocks
Oh,
can be
okay.
frozen.
Wait. But the
No,
right
not
of
the char rocks. Like
didn't the-
rock.
Didn't the right of the Great Dwarf prevent them from being corrupted as dragon minions?
They
I
kind of
think it
did
was
like
to
in Guild Wars
prevent
1.
them to be corrupted by Primordius. I'm not sure it would prevent corruption by all the dragons since they have different kinds of magic and stuff.
and
I mean,
it's kind of
possible,
awkward now.
but-
Yeah, and it's kind of awkward now because that was kind of leading theory with even the Sylvari leading up till Heart of Thorns, and then when all that went down, now then they had what was it, the Living Story where they had what was it? Because all the powers got back in, so then you started having destroyer infused,
Right.
you
Death
know,
Touch,
Mordrum
Destroyers,
or
Vine Touch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, I guess they can be corrupted now.
Possible.
If they're only protected against the powers of Primordius, perhaps.
And like if Primordius has gotten, I mean, I think all of the dragons have gotten some aspects of the other dragons from killing and like the magic going out and stuff.
Well, then,
Um,
also, we really haven't seen anything about Balthazar's magic being manipulated by the dragons, have we?
I thought
Only in
Aurene mostly ended up.
I would say
with that.
only in Aurene, really.
Yeah.
When she does the blast against Kralkatork in that one Living Story, see when she's powering up, you see the aspect of, I think it's Diatan, Morjamoth, and then Balthazar's image appears. So
Oh,
that
Roach,
would possibly mean it's in the ether, the mists,
Yeah.
as well.
Well, Roach, it's funny you should mention that. I can't remember what's the name of the dwarf head.
I blanked on his name, but I was also thinking that I was like, I hope when you get there, you're like, oh, our allies, and there's just one dwarf in the back going, has anybody seen my thumb? I still have that stone thumb somewhere.
I always thought it was supposed to be that dude's thumb.
Yeah.
Like I always thought it was. I think it starts with an R. I can't remember.
Roban.
Roban. Thank you, Age. And I think it's going to be that one Priory Char who carries. Oh, a hat. Yeah. Like the one Priory Char that's always carrying him around, and they just have the best banter.
Yeah.
I love it. But I still need to catch up. I haven't made it through the previous Living Story chapter because I was going to try and catch up this week, but I've been moving my company into a new building. But
yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, but you made me think of this when you were talking about the Priory person carrying around the head everywhere and stuff. I just got the image of Chewie with C-3PO on his back when he's dismantled, and like the Priory person doing that with the head and like having a whole thing there.
I was say, didn't it kind of do that? Like, didn't they have some kind of backpack? Or I swore they did something like that.
I don't think
it's been so
but
long.
maybe, but
I mean,
I didn't think they did that.
Maybe it was
he
a
was
dream.
introduced in Ember Bay, so it's
Yeah.
It was the same
been a
time with
while.
the
Been a while.
destroyer touched other things, and
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. But I'm interested to see this stuff, much like I'm interested to see Chapter 1 when I eventually get to it. But,
Yeah. I'm hoping that with this update, we'll see more of the world, like faction event things going on and stuff.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because they actually gave us a timeline for
Oh,
those
they did.
mobilization stuff. Chapter 2 Power will have one global faction mobilization event available at release, with an additional faction arriving February 16th.
Okay.
Chapter
that makes
3
sense.
will have one mobilization event at release and an additional 3 in the weeks following. And Chapter 4 was originally planned for May of this year, but now it's going to be late April. So they've actually moved up their timetable a little bit, which is cool. And
we're going back to a 2-week cadence, right? That's what this all means.
God.
Please no.
I'm kidding.
Please no.
As all the devs just fainted, going, oh,
Yeah, please don't. I know at least some of them listen to us, and don't put that on them. I don't want to. No.
I'm wondering what other faction we're getting this time around, because they keep showing a bunch of them.
Yeah, because in this one they show the dwarves, which I'm gonna guess is one's gonna be the dwarf, since they're showing like infusions and stuff based on them.
Well, I think they're going to be the one at release. Yeah,
but they are also showing in the background at the end there. They show the Tengu hop up again. Really teasing us with the Tengu.
Yeah.
And then the Skritt. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the release page for this in chat.
And
I
then
don't think
there's
we're gonna get the Tengu
Exalted
until
as
later.
well.
Yeah, H has a point. The Exalted show up in there.
Oh, that's right.
There's still some Ebonhawk in there too. I don't know.
Which I think if you go to the release page, doesn't it show one of the things as like Ebonhawk on as what looks like probably one of the DRM scenes? So maybe they are one of the more likely ones.
Yeah. Well, Fields of Ruin.
Yeah. Fields of Ruin, Ebonhawk is in there.
Yeah. Ebonhawk is in Fields of Ruin, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's just kind of weird that they'll be an it's like, aren't they already our allies?
Formally.
But Ebonhawk has always been portrayed
Formally?
as
When did they
like,
leave us?
Well,
No,
Ebonhawk has always
formally,
been,
like we're
formally.
formally
Okay.
taking them.
yeah, that and Ebonhawk has always been kind of portrayed as like part of like Krita, but kind of also their
separate.
own thing as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Also, I think most of it has been us helping them more than them helping us. So finally,
'cause
I guess they're
a lot
going to
of it-
help us.
Yeah, a lot of it kind of revolved around the Civil War.
Right.
well, Deo, ZeKrioX is talking about Tango being playable. And you were giving me a little bit of your theory pre-show.
Well, actually, I
Wanna
was
go
gonna say
into that now?
it kind of couples. Well, yeah, I was gonna say I guess it kind of couples with if you were here live last week during After Show, we actually had a cool discussion of like where we think what could they promise you in an expansion, like as like the sales, the features, and we were I think we've always said in the past like more elite specs is going to be like a lot to handle, but I know eventually I brought up, and then I think Age like refined it of like if they have like other specs, or they can call them elite specs, heck, call them veteran specs. I don't know. Make it more confusing. I don't know. But it would take a weapon that you previously have, like I think I used in that one, Guardians with a greatsword. It changes out those 5 skills, and you can fine tune it so you can further spec into being a greatsword guardian, but maybe in lieu of these fully changing elite specs. But if since that would be a lesser thing of elite specs, I was starting to think, what if they kind of do like what if they announce this expansion, hey, you've always wanted these like certain races, all these allied races are now going to be playable races or maybe a handful of them, because it seems like they're introducing a lot, but maybe in the same sense as like WoW's allied races, which I was going to ask Arlie, and I see a lot of people in chat have gone back into WoW. Maybe they can also chime in, because I'm not familiar with that system. But with the allied races in WoW, was it starting from scratch on vanilla maps, or did they bump you up? Or
So all of them, first you had to unlock them through various things, but then once you unlock them, they used to start at level 20. They now start at level 10. And that's when you go to the most recent expansion in level. So you get a little bit of a head start. It's not quite as starting from scratch, because you can't make those characters from scratch. Like, there is no new person coming to the game making those characters. It's not how the system works.
and that was kind of my point of, and I think we've said this in the past about, if they would introduce Tengu, they couldn't make, like, it would feel weird to have them from the get-go, because it's like, why are they the commander type, like, in the sense of like, why are they fighting, you know, Morjamoth or something like that, like,
right?
Whereas they could bring them in, but like, say, like, you start here with a and I was comparing it to WoW's Death Knights, because that's the one I'm familiar with. So I don't know if it worked like that, where it was like, you got a character at 58, you unlocked Death Knights at 58. Like, you just start kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if they did something like that, that would be interesting. I don't know what they like. I don't know what would make sense as to what level to start them as. Because like, I feel like just being like, oh, 80, but it's not as overwhelming, because again, it wouldn't be new players, so that would be fine. But I don't know. It would get them around the whole having to make like, integrate them into the original personal story and all of that, and like that barrier. It could definitely go around that.
And I mean, if I remember correctly from this is me hearing when you guys were talking about that kind of stuff. Didn't you have to do quests to, like, basically you had to get exalted in WoW with that faction to use them as a race, or was that like?
Yeah, that used to be. They got rid of the rep.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, what if they add that to, like, what if the game, they basically use the mastery system as like a rep thing, where it's like, you became, top, you used all the points to be in the Delgemore Dwarves, now you can be a, unlock one for your account type thing.
Either, I wouldn't put it in mastery. You could put it in collection, but mastery and collections are both like account locked things. So it's not like you'd be able to do it more than once.
Right. I would kind of prefer it to be tied with completing some part of the story or something like that, as opposed to something else. Like, if it was a collection, I would want it to be things that you get through doing the story or whatever.
Okay.
Just because, like, from experience with the system and WoW, it was frustrating when you did all the story and you got to know these races and stuff, and you wanted to make one, that you had to go back and then do other things that you didn't particularly want to do so that you could unlock that race, basically.
And I was gonna say, Chad's bringing up a good point, and they were asking you the question, Arlie, can you customize the armor sets for the allied races in WoW, or is it like
customize them?
Well, because that's always been one concern about the Tengu, was they'd have to remap all the art, so it would have to be a specific thing, which I think is leading to their thing of, if you can't, or if Guild Wars 2 does that, do we even need that? Could they just go into combat tonics like we've had with the Kodan, like the Kodan combat tonic, where it's just a model, you can't change the armor look or anything? Or
I think there's no way to get around that issue, because the different body shapes, especially with Tengu and some of the others, even Kodan, like, just a lot of the armors, making that work on the frame is not necessarily a simple thing, so they would have to do that regardless.
Well, that's why they like the combat tonic, it kind of just removes all that, is what they're saying. And they were wondering if the allied races in WoW, did they have to?
They did.
Okay, they do switch out. They're basically like any other playable
for the most part
race.
Well, so I was going to say, for the most part, most of the races are based on like a new version of an existing race. So like, you have a different kind of orc, a different kind of troll, or a different kind of gnome, where like they didn't have to change things too much. There
Or
are
they-
some that are a little more out there, and for those ones they did have to change things a little bit more so that everything fit the body shapes better.
Or it looks like they use similar frames, like in the case of, I think I saw a screenshot. Don't they have like a tiny fox race that just
Yep, the
basically
Volpera.
looks like using the same, like the
It's the
goblin
goblin.
frame?
It's
Yeah.
the goblin skeleton.
So it seems like, yeah, they dealt with that issue in that manner. So
Well,
Yeah.
And ZeKrioX, the combat tonics in Guild Wars 2, it's not quite the same, if only for the fact that, like, you don't have the voice lines, you don't have the customization, you don't have unique animations. Like,
Right.
combat tonics are great for little things, but not what people would want out of actually having a, playable race in that function. So,
Not to change the conversation, but I just was looking at the trailer that's still playing. Do we know who that big Norn dude that they show our
With
forces fighting?
the facial scars and the staff,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to assume this is another member of the Sons of Svanir that we're going to be introduced
But
to.
he looked different, like he was more important in some way to me. Like I didn't know if we've encountered somebody like that before and I forgot about him.
Unless this was encountered in chapter 1 or like the back half of the previous Living Story episode. I don't recognize the character.
Okay. Cool.
So either way, any further thoughts on chapter 2 and the release schedule that they're giving us here?
Yay for things sooner.
Yeah.
as long as they're done.
And this is something we were talking about in chat this morning. I hope that whatever this one is, where it ends, they make it more definitive so you know you're done. Whereas like me, I got to the end of the last one and was like, oh, I need to go do that. How do I do that? What do I do?
Which you did
Like,
remind me, I was probably going to say something like warn people that probably expect how it was this time, because
yeah.
like we said, if you look at the release pages, these are labeled as what, chapter 5, episode 1, and episode 2, which the previous ones were always chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter. So it seems like all these updates are technically one episode,
Yep.
but not. It's
Yeah, I
So.
really hope that they got feedback and they're implementing something like story continues with next update or something.
yeah,
To
just
let
a
you know
line that
that
would
you've
change
reached
that says build your allied races as while others come, to the defenses of the
Yeah. Something.
Just a quick thing about Dragon response missions. These ones will probably be the same as last times because they went on a holiday before, like it was pretty close, so they probably just made the system well in advance before the chapter.
You mean
I
they'll
want-
function the same? They won't be literally the same ones, though.
No,
Is that
yeah,
what you mean? Okay.
function the same. Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that's gonna upset some people, but I would look more towards chapter 3 for a difference in Dragon response missions instead.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
But
in
I could be
terms
wrong.
of time to iterate and stuff.
They
that would make
literally
sense.
had no time to actually act on the feedback they got from chapter 1's DRMs.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I could be wrong, and maybe they did something, but you never know. But yeah, I just low expectations. Yeah.
That's okay.
That's so sad to say in a
Well, I
video
mean,
game.
to be fair, you could say that for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff for gaming, is people need to lower their expectations just because
Okay, yeah.
people get a little too overhyped with things, and sometimes you have to lower your expectations a lot. Like your expectations for playing Guild Wars 2 on a Mac going forward.
Ouch. Good.
I saw actually one person come up with a cool system for it. Does any of you have played or heard of Dynasty Warriors?
I've heard of it. Haven't played
Oh,
it.
heard of it.
the better variant Hyrule Warriors, but yes.
It's okay. So it's basically a map where there's objectives and bosses, like mini bosses, and then there's just like clumps of mobs. If you've seen gameplay of Hyrule Warriors, it's essentially the same thing. And then there's just an objective to do, and then those bosses are there. So you would just go around the map, and then you would kill things, and then there was like an ebb and flow to it. So I thought it was a really cool idea.
Oh, so turn the DRMs into something more like a Dynasty Warriors.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
That'd be a really cool concept.
Yeah.
But before Age just totally steamrolled my transition, which
It was fine.
he has done his best to ignore all of the puns for the transitions. He's done his.
Well, I have a question. Where is Mac these days? I haven't seen him.
Where is Mac? I haven't seen.
He changes
Mac
the
either.
name so often.
Yeah, I don't know if he's in chat. He might be here, and we just don't know.
Wait, is that what the article's about? They're not letting
They
Mac
got rid of
play Guild Wars
Mac.
2?
No.
They ended Mac support. Oh no. I mean, he's been in chat.
Well, we're not going to end Mac support because we love Mac in our chat, right? See, there you go.
But
Threw it back to you.
Starting February 18th, we will be discontinuing support for the macOS version of Guild Wars 2. This means the Mac client will no longer work after this date. We will also be turning off gem purchases in the Mac version of the game beginning January 19th, the date of our next build in the new year. Basically, the reason here is Apple gonna Apple. In 2018, Apple ended support for the OpenGL graphics technology that Guild Wars 2 uses on the Mac. While games and other software that rely on OpenGL still work for now, Apple has made it clear that this will not always be the case in new OS versions. Apple have also stopped actively fixing problems on macOS related to OpenGL, including graphics hardware driver issues. And then earlier in 2020, Apple announced future Mac computers will be designed around a different chip technology than the Intel processors used today. So as far as I can tell from being in the IT industry, this really looks like Apple further closing the gates on their ecosystem, and they're going to proprietary chip technology. And if you want to work on Apple, you have to spend all of your time perfecting your build for Apple so that you
and money.
Yeah, so that you can't put your product out on anything but Apple.
Which is just annoying because it's like going back to the way things were like 10 years ago, which is frustrating because I don't know. I feel like it's better being able to use things on different systems and making them work together because like not everybody uses the same thing. Like, come on.
One of a bit of the scuttle in the Reddit thread for this I actually saw is that people are thinking that Apple is going to start making even their computer stuff go through the App Store, so that games like that are put on the app, like on Apple or on Mac, need to go through the App Store so they can get their cut of microtransactions through the games.
That would make
I think
sense, but
I wouldn't be surprised because I think that was the whole issue with Stadia not being on there, and I think also Xbox's stream thing was they needed to make a web-based version that I think you have to buy each game individually, but it all goes to the same account. But mainly, I think, like you guys are saying, so they can get the money for each game and not just in an app.
Yeah. I honestly, like, if they take this to an extreme, like right now my boss uses Mac mostly for things and I have a Mac for work. But the fact that, Excel and Word and all of those can talk together and they go back and forth between the Windows and the Apple is very useful. If they do something to screw that up in this whole process, that will 100% get us off Mac because there's no point. You need to be able to have things that go back and forth, and I hope they don't take it to that extreme because this is already bad enough.
I was gonna say this is kind of like a little bit far from Guild Wars 2 in the sense, but yeah, do you think that is Apple's attempt of? I think one of the reasons why so many people are stuck and strong, have strong feelings towards PC or using always Windows products is because it's like, well, my company always uses, like, I'm used to that
Yeah.
UI. You think that's what they're going to try to do this far down the road, that people are going to be like, well, no, now you're just annoying.
It's possible. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but I could see how they could take it to that step, and it would be really sad because I mean, they've come so far. It's one of the reasons why so many people do use them now, is because they've opened up the ecosystem and you can do things on multiple different things, so it just makes it easier. But I feel like if they start slamming that down, they're going to see a reduction in use. I don't know if it would be significant, but definitely
No.
would affect a lot of people.
I mean, there's software that you can run on Mac that makes you able to run Windows applications, but I don't know if those will
It's a
be.
pain though.
Yeah, I don't know if those will also be incompatible over time as Apple changes their stuff around. But yeah,
It's what, Wine
might-
and Boot Camp? Are the two big
yeah.
ones?
So
Yeah.
maybe in the future people can use that, but I don't know for how long or if they'll continue updating. But we'll see.
I feel like Apple, I mean, if they're going to really clamp down hard on this whole walled garden concept that they have for everything, I do think they're going to want to stop Boot Camp and Wine. Like, they're eventually going to clamp down on that and prevent those from working in some way, shape, or form. And you're going to get to, like, it's what Random Roach is saying, is if they nuke Wine, they're going to force people off. And that's going to happen. One of the things that I've always looked at with Apple products is I feel that you really only see the benefit if you have more than one. Since, like, to quote Todd Howard here, everything, like all Apple technology just works together, which is the benefit of them. And then it's very hands-off for the customer for Apple products, because it's just, you take it to an Apple store and they handle it. Like, you don't have to try and troubleshoot anything.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
especially if you have Apple Care on your stuff, because then they just fix it, which is nice. But at the same time, like,
Yeah.
that won't make up for problems they introduced by cutting off everything
I'll
else.
say, yeah, it all just works together until, they want to change the cable output, and then they're like, you can buy a dongle that might work and not, maybe not, and then this and that.
We're
and
gonna change the.
it just
the-
works.
Well, that's the thing. The Lightning connector is just a modified USB-C connector.
Exactly.
Like, it's
It's
exactly
different
the same
for
thing.
no good reason.
But Red Wolf, when you're talking about, like, Office, I question if Microsoft will even bother to develop Office if they force App Store integration.
Yeah.
And if you have Office coming off of Mac,
That's basically what I was saying. Like, if they make that more difficult, that will ruin it right there.
yeah. But any further thoughts, friends?
I just wish you would stop cramming it down my throat.
Oh my God, no. No, you're not even hosting and you're doing the bad transitions.
It was so good, I couldn't resist.
Speaking of RAM,
No, he said cram. Cram.
I said cram.
Steam has 24 gigs of RAM listed as the recommended requirements for playing Guild Wars 2.
Yay! That's good.
I look at this and I know they pushed back the Steam release of Guild Wars 2. I wouldn't look at anything on that page anything more than a placeholder.
Next gen Guild Wars 2 confirmed. We're getting ray tracing. Do we already have that? I have no idea.
We don't need God Rays. It screws up enough stuff already.
Yes, we need God rays. If we get God rays, I'm going back and finding Balthazar. I want to see those God rays in action.
Oh my God. Why do I just keep giving you more of this?
I don't know.
Yes, you need 24 gigs of RAM if you want to slash jump.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, anything on that Steam page of any technical limitations or anything, just It's funny. I think it's hilarious that they have an MMO requiring 24 gigs of RAM.
Though, and isn't it? I mean, every time I
it's
always
not
hear about the
modded Minecraft.
recommended, isn't? Yeah. Well, isn't that like to run it at like a steady, like, I always forget like when people refer to as recommended, like what the bar is to be set at, like how it should be ran at, which, I mean, to be fair, it could be believable in that sense, is just because, you know, people have talked in the past of just because of how it's coded and stuff, it doesn't run very well. So to possibly achieve that, you probably do need something that high. But
Oh.
is it,
Well,
you know, a necessity? No.
just the minimum specs are listed as 4 gigs of
6.
RAM. So
I've got 6
Wow.
on my end.
okay,
Well,
I got 4. Haha.
So if you're gonna play on Arlie's machine, apparently
in
it's
the
slightly more lenient.
the official one, the minimum requirements is 4. I think the recommended is 16.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steam just like bumped it up.
Don't know why they
Maybe
do that.
Steam's platform adds that much extra processing stuff that it needs 24.
Actually,
Steam's getting unique content.
It needs 8 more gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have to have the
For
Steam
8
client
more
over-
gigabytes of RAM.
Listen, I don't know what kind of spaghetti code Valve has going on with the overlay client, man.
Too much spaghetti
oh
on
God,
spaghetti.
The stupid overlay. Can I just tell you that overlay drives me crazy because I always turn it on by accident and it can't get rid of it and make it not work. Every time I try
How
to
do you
disable
hit
it, it
Shift
doesn't
tilde
do it.
by accident?
Shift F1 is keybind for taking pictures in shadow play for me. And like
Okay.
sometimes I will hit shift and my pinky will be near tab and I'll hit that instead of shift Q, which is also key bindings for other things. So
I suppose the problem there is that you're also using shadow play.
shadow play is great. Don't knock it.
I think I just did.
He is the one who knocks.
Then again, I've literally never used it. I've just read people complaining about it before, so.
It can be really frustrating, but for me, like, it is the most reliable way to take video of games, especially games that are not released yet or small indie games, because a lot of the other systems won't even register them as games, and it kind of gets frustrating.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
It's pretty light on system usage too, which is nice. Why?
So, any further talk about the ridiculous system recommended? See, I always thought recommended was to run at like 80%, like not maximum stats, but like almost there. So what?
I don't know about. I would say like 60.
I take recommended as the minimum requirements.
But there's always minimum ones that are lower than that.
No, those are the ones that you don't want.
Well,
yeah, because I always thought like the recommended was like a gauge, was it to like play on like the middle tier, like normal graphic quality at like originally it was like 1080 at 60 frames or something, you know, some like weird art like number that, but I was like, have they ever said like, have people ever mentally tried to raise that idea? Because I mean, we're, you know, technology is progressing. We're getting into 4K as a more
8K.
like, well, I was gonna say 4K was starting to become more standard, whereas 8K is becoming the, you know, pro gamer. You got to get it, you know, you're going to spend an arm and a leg for just one monitor alone type thing. And,
Yeah.
you know,
8K is not worth it right now.
Exactly.
Well, is there anything that runs native 8K? It's all upscale from what I understand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think. Like I said, I think we're at that stage where it's literally the bragging rights to have it, like how 4K, you know, like how everything tends to be. It's like,
Yeah, but
Yeah, only I think only the latest games right now have like attempted 8K, and I think like Dale said, it's probably mostly upscaling. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I think 4K is the most steady thing, and even that you don't 100% need, unless
Mhm.
you want, unless you're playing like a game for like the prettiness, then go for it.
Then you'd need.
Well,
you'd
that's why I
also
was
need
wondering if there's ever been any news of them like, because like I said, that's always been my mentality was, it almost felt like recommended was always to try to match almost consoles, which would be like 1080 at like 30, maybe 60 frames type thing. Whereas now consoles are pushing it further. Has there ever been a notice of like, okay, more people have 4K, that's now like the bar
I mean, it
versus,
happens over time with
Yeah, I don't think
everything.
there's
and that's
any-
why I was saying I wasn't sure if there was news about that increasing to warrant a 22
I
gigabyte
don't.
RAM
I don't
requirement
think
or
we're there.
recommended. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah, that's honestly, I feel like, I mean, I have 32 gigs, but that's just because I also tend to run a lot of things concurrently, and also I do development work on my computer, and it's a little expensive because you got to spend money on stuff. Speaking of
Yeah.
spending money on stuff,
that's the
Gemstore.
spirit.
Start the year off right with an impressive statement piece. Thanks to some special enchantments, the Dragon Spirit Focus skin comes to life, winding around your arm and wrist.
Can I just tell you, it looks amazing. It's
It
so
looks
awesome.
it looks so good, but it's a I'm torn
I,
because focus skin, I mean, on the one character I would use it on, first off doesn't fit his character look, but he already has the best focus skin in the game, Ambrosia. But what I would love it on, because my theme for my Revenant is kind of more dragon themed,
right.
can't use focus.
Next elite spec.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be pretty cool for Revenant to get focus.
Yeah. But I mean, it looks really, really, really cool. Like most of the time on my elementalist, I use dagger in the offhand, but I do switch to focus, and I was seriously considering getting it. It just because it's like it's not static; it winds around your arm as if it's like an actual like dragon snake thing. It's really cool.
It's almost like taking that what is it, the authenticator mini pet, except it's not like more frost themed, but it's almost like that serpent snake mist form of a dragon around your arm, which I was like, yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
I would love that
was-
on my Rev. Oh, it's like, no, I can't.
I was trying to find. I'll admit this is just the banner from the blog post. I was trying to find video or an in-game picture of it, and I just failed. Utterly.
If you go in the so if anyone wants to look at it, just go into the Gemstore, look for the Dragon Focus skin, and you can see the preview of it. It basically wraps around your arm, the lower part of your arm.
So your forearm, basically.
Yeah.
And I think it's like two different spirals.
That's cool.
Yeah. It looks really amazing.
Are we gonna get people complaining about this being basically a legendary in the Gemstore?
Yes, I have seen it already. So
I was gonna say, are we? Yes, if
Have
this
we
was
yet?
last week.
Have
Oh,
we
yes.
yet? Yeah.
But it doesn't make
Yeah.
footfalls, so technically not a legendary.
I just like
it's not hard to add it.
even if they added footfalls, the other part of a legendary is having like the stat swapping. So if you end up having to be like, I mean, and let's face it,
Not hard to add it.
No, it's not. But let's face it, you can already whip out your credit card and buy a legendary, and have been able to do that since the start of the game. So
Yeah. I mean, it's just the skin. It's not an actual weapon or anything, so.
yeah. And especially, Cantha coming up, have yourself some dragon stuff. I still have the Kama dagger skin, which I bought them to do a Condi build on my thief in PvP, and then I never goddamn did that. But oh well.
Yep.
But you know, Deo's talking about his theme on his Revenant.
Oh.
You can get those crystalline wings because they're back. Along with the scaled dragon wings and the draconic wings.
Wait, are those the skinnier ones that you could only originally get from doing one of the events a long time ago and never came back?
Well, those are the holographic ones. The scaled, the crystalline dragon ones are the big shiny ones Deo has on his Revenant. The scaled dragon
if you
wings
want
are
to
the
see them on your
Tequali
character
ones.
in game, like using the lighting, I think they use that same model in one of the Heart of Thorns missions. I think where you're chasing the egg. It's basically that because you're using the, but yeah, it's basically that skin model then applied to as a back piece.
Yeah, and then the draconic wings are like your standard green Western style dragon looking things, and they've got like gold ornamentation and everything.
They look like you literally cut them off of some dragon-like thing that had arms and stuck it to your back.
Gruesome.
What it looks like.
Not wrong, but a gruesome way to describe it. I mean,
don't mess with Arlie.
Deo already suggested the one. Are you guys going to pick up? I didn't even ask. Are any of you going to pick up the focus skin?
I'm very tempted. I'm very much thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like I said, while it's tempting, it doesn't work with nothing lines up for me to use them. So I'd just be kind of sitting on it.
I was going to say, interestingly enough, if I did pick it up, I would be putting the skin over the look of a legendary. So
Gas.
That's part of the problem. It's proof that they're putting a legendary in the gem store.
At least then you'd get rid of that stupid harp.
No, it's awesome.
And
take away my music.
Thieves can't use focuses, so I'm going to assume age you're not looking at this either.
Yeah, I don't really have a character I can use on, even though it's pretty cool. But...
maybe if they gave us a ritualist.
Okay, I know what I was thinking of the dragon wings. I was thinking of the shattered, flappy dragon wings.
The holographic ones, yeah.
Not the holographic ones.
No?
There's holographic ones, but the shattered ones, they're thinner and they're like made of crystal.
I thought the shattered ones were the hologram, like because they've had different variations of the holographic ones.
Because there's
I think one of them was a shattered one.
The holographic the holographic dragon wings are the ones from way back in S1, Living Story Season 1, and you can get the regular holographic wings and the shattered holographic wings.
I was gonna say, did they do a regular shattered version? I
thought they did.
For the life of me, can't remember. But
no, the shattered holographic are the only like shattered ones that they have.
The only sad part about those ones were just because that was kind of before they got into the wings type thing and gliders, of course. So they're just like
these
literally like
little...
this much on your back. It's like I'm flying.
They're these teeny tiny little things. I still really
they
wish...
are holographic shattered dragon wings. That is what it was.
I really deeply wish that the Spinal Blade backpack would turn into a glider.
Yeah.
Because that'd be goddamn amazing. But that's different
Maybe,
back gear.
Maybe with the Alliance system update, right? They're putting everything in that, right?
Yes, that's what it'll do.
Please don't overpromise that particular thing. So anybody picking up some dragon wings from the gem store?
No. I like the green ones are just way too gruesome to fit like any of my characters. I can't do that. And the other ones.
My biggest problem is half the time I hide the back items on most of my characters.
Oh really?
Yeah. I really don't use back items on a lot of my characters.
Well, and I mean, a lot of times the problem with it is, and I think there's a couple that have finally done it, that just they don't have die slots, so it's like it either has to work with your outfit, or you're going to change your outfit, which some people might not want to do. It's like
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's like I would think about getting the crystalline one, and they would mostly work with what I have on my elementalist because she has the holographic shattered ones, so it wouldn't be that much of a big leap. But I kind of like the thinness of those. Like I like the way that looks, and I feel like the other ones are a bit like overbearing, especially like on a human. It's just like.
I mean, I have it on a Norn, so overbearing I think is just right in its wheelhouse. So
Right.
that's why it works
Yeah,
for me.
That's pretty perfect. But I mean, if wings aren't your back piece thing, we do have capes. Jorah's cape, the Abyss Stalker cape, and the Celestial Rat cape are all back in the Gemstore.
Wait, Celestial Rat cape?
Yes, the Celestial Rat cape. You know, from
Which
last
I mean,
year's
it
Lunar
does
New Year.
look nice. The
Right.
Celestial Rat
Right.
cape. I mean, because with that gold back inlay thing going on, it's.
Mm-hmm.
I still agree with Hat. The runic cape is pretty fantastic. The Jorah cape though is nice.
The runic cape, the blue one.
I don't remember what I think that's the one it's a collection reward.
The runic cape one was from one of the Living Story updates.
From all
okay.
the
Where you had to.
Ryland's warband collection.
Right.
I
Okay.
believe. But any capes for anybody, or are we going Edna mode here?
Like I said, I like the look of the Skritt one. I don't know who I would use it on.
Yeah, I don't.
See, that's why we need all these allied races, so we have more. If I had a Skritt race I could use, heck yeah, I'm outfitting with every Skritt product that exists.
Yeah.
And he'll be chasing Penny Apple, the golden pig, because that just fits.
I need the lore behind Jorah's cape because I've never seen Jorah have a cape.
Right.
Yeah.
She just hid it in Guild Wars 1. She didn't want you to know what her guild was.
Yes.
Like she didn't want you to see the fact that she had this baller cape model, and she was tired of getting whispers about where the hell she got that cape model for her guild. So
Right.
That border never existed in Guild Wars 1. That's I'm calling it out. Not even Guild Wars Beyond. They never showed it.
Yeah,
Maybe that was in the fictitious or in the
Utopia.
supposed supposed Nightfall one that never happened, and it just they were gonna show it then.
I do have to agree with Gift though, that the fact that they have yet to do, like, they started doing capes. They didn't do a cape into a glider.
Yep.
Like, are we not gonna do the feather thing from Super Mario 3, where you're just holding the back ends of the cape and you're
Right.
Oh, that would be cool. I was just thinking of like almost doing like a weird, like a superhero type thing, but I like that because that makes more sense than just like, when did you develop superhero powers?
the Super Adventure cape.
Yeah.
The Super Adventure cape glider, and that's where you're holding the tail end of the cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like
I'm
that.
sure Nintendo will never get mad about that. As long as they don't make the cape yellow, I think they'll be fine.
They'll never find out. They don't have enough RAM to run. They don't have 22 gigs of RAM in the Switch, so they ain't never going to be playing Guild Wars 2.
I don't know what the Switch has.
Out it's 22 gigs.
Probably not.
Hmm.
But so I'm hearing no capes. So Edna.
No, capes are.
You would have gotten me.
I
I mean, you would have gotten me 3-4 years ago, but yeah, too late now.
Yeah. Didn't they abandon Sabbath? No, Roach. It's
I'll say they
yearly
needed a
now.
festival. I don't.
It comes out every year, April Fool's Day. It's just like a holiday now. I don't know if you missed that. I don't know how long you've been away from the game, but yeah, April 1st coming around. It's going to be back.
Oh, Switch has 4 gigs of RAM. Yeah,
I was
you
about
ain't.
to say, hey.
Yeah, I'm not
You're barely
surprised.
playing the minimum version on
Technically-
Arlie's.
I was gonna say technically enough to run Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, but at 4 gigs, they still probably won't see that glider.
Well, actually, I think it depends on the CPU as well, just because I think CPUs are a lot better in the Switch anyway. So
Well, I mean, let's face it. The Switch is effectively a fancy phone.
Yes.
Mhm.
So And if I can
like
play
how
Genshin, if I can play Genshin Impact on the phone,
Actually, phones have a lot more
Can you
RAM.
play
Yeah.
Genshin Impact on the phone?
Yes.
yeah, it's a mobile game.
But what if you
I
don't have a
realize that.
phone?
I have
You
a phone.
mean
Dan.
you
You
don't
guys
have
have
phones?
phones?
So I like how we went into this weird speculation of like
Virtual
we're like
BlizzCon
somehow half speculating that Guild Wars 2 is coming to the Switch without like we just kind of we're like, yeah, see, it's never gonna run it. It's like
Like ArenaNet, when's it coming to the Switch? When's that announcement?
Of all, and we have talked about Guild Wars 2 on consoles. Of all the MMOs, I think it could do very well. But we do have one bit of Community Corner, which Arlie dropped in the links. I wanted to pull this up because I honestly think it's a fantastic take on the whole Icebrood saga. From the folks over at Virtually Interrupted, the person who penned this article is Drexinic. Jormag, Elder Dragon of Ice and Psychological Abuse. And it the entire article talks about how Jormag's relationship with the commander has all the hallmarks of being an abusive friend.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought it was a really good read. And
yeah,
I legitimately love... Just overall, I love how much more cerebral the Icebrood saga has been. Like, fighting Jormag has been much less punchy fighty and more, holding the line mentally. So
yeah. The thing I found most interesting about the article was when he was talking about the conversations that happened when you do the dragon mission with Keith. And that was interesting to me because we already know Keith has in the past been in an abusive relationship, like the whole thing with Fallon and stuff. And like she has changed and grown, and she recognized at one point that it wasn't a good relationship. So she's kind of like dealt with this kind of stuff before. So it's interesting me to think that in some ways she's the most equipped to understand what's happening and to be able to like maybe help deal with it on some level, which was interesting to me.
on that topic, I would like to see Keith explored a little bit more because like you're saying with that, but it's also like she doubled down by joining Maureen. Like I feel like she would have been slightly gun shy with everything, but I mean it was that kind of thing of like almost like, well, this is kind of like her child, like that was the thing that she was trying to protect and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she is still falling into that trap through a different relationship that's not romantic, but also is seeing this through Jormag, the Elder Dragon, where she's like, no, I've
Right.
gone through this, but it's like,
I can see that, but like Aureen is different because I think Aureen actually does care and wants what's best for everybody. So like even though she's like given a part of herself into like control of Aureen, it's not quite the same.
but I'm wondering if this might put some like inadvertently put some ideas into her head of like, oh, here's another Elder Dragon that's kind of saying the same things Aureen's trying to say, but look what like maybe she
Mhm.
starts to see, am I in another abusive relationship that I'm not seeing
Oh,
myself?
I
Maybe.
understand. Hmm.
I don't know if they would try to go with that heavy of a theme,
Yeah,
but it'd be interesting.
it feels like that would be a weird way to go with it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy theme to throw in there, but could be intriguing.
Mhm. Yeah, I
But yeah,
really like
okay.
I was just gonna say I also really liked it because there were a lot of those moments when I was playing through the various stories where it was really rubbing me wrong in a very like strong way, but I couldn't like quite put my finger on what exactly it was. And then I read that article and I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, it definitely makes you feel like you're that friend on the outside looking at an abuse. Like you're trying to be like, guys, look, because literally as you're playing the story, everybody's like, oh no, yeah, Joey Mag and its allies. I'm like, and like, they're inviting him into certain cities and stuff, and it's like, hello, am I here? Is anybody listening to me?
Right. Yeah.
It's like that bit where LeBron is arguing with the coach, because I'm sure you've all seen the meme where he's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
it's like you kind of have to wonder if that's what the commander feels like half the time, where it's just like,
Heck, I know even sometimes I'm feeling like that, because even then, like, the dialogue for the commander gets written and it's like, yeah, sure, we'll fight along. I'm like, no, I didn't say that. No.
I did not agree to this.
can we have the personality system back, please?
Yeah, where are you taking me?
Yeah, that's how I felt with the whole Smodor thing when all of that went down. I was like, what?
Yeah, that particular bit, I can't speak too loud about it because I don't want to steal the thunder of the story from other people in the apartment. But
Right.
Let's just say it was mind blowing.
everybody's like, oh, that's so sad, and I'm like, no, it's not. And then my character's like, oh, that's terrible. I'm like, I didn't say that.
Yeah, those aren't my words.
Well, wait.
Not my commander.
Which part are you referring to as not being that sad or upsetting?
Where Smodor gets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was referring to before that, when the thing happens. And,
Oh, that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
But. And I know you just posted that this morning, so I don't know if everybody's gotten a chance to read that, but like, I kind of enjoy the more psychological villains. It makes it a lot more interesting instead of just, somebody who's just generically kick puppies evil.
And I think that it shows that whatever you say about, like, I know some people have had the criticism about the story. This what's this? Is this a season or a chap? What are we? What's the whole thing? Like, it's not a saga.
Yeah.
What's in between the saga and the episodes? Season, right? Okay. See, that part's confusing. But I think they even said during those, like, the launch thing where they were looking at more Eldritch type things, and that is a very Cthulhu type thing of like psychological, and so yeah, I think this is showing, and I think a lot of people would agree that I feel like they've really done a good job of hitting the nail on the head with at least that aspect of, which once again is hard to do in an, I would say, MMO, because like Chad is saying, it feels like we're a third wheeling in a story that was meant to be about us. It's like, I mean, is it, we're part of the story. I don't know if we could actually say it's about us. I know at the very beginning of when you create a character, this is our story.
Yeah, that was the whole thing in the beginning. Yeah.
That was, I feel like that was all the way up to Zaitan kind of a thing, where it's,
well, that's
we're explaining why we're there.
I mean, to go back to like the whole Jessica Price debacle and what caused that, when she was talking about trying to make choices feel meaningful but also not ballooning the story into
like writing
unmanageable
400 possible options.
Yeah.
Or you just throw away the choice at all, like going back to the earlier stories where Locke's saying, hey, should we throw this bomb in there and destroy that factory? It might have innocent people in it. And we go, even if we go yes, he's like, okay, let's do it. Or no, well, screw you, I'm doing it. And then it's like, yeah, we did that. I'm like, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and the problem, Gift, that you bring up, that we are not the protagonist. The problem is the player character is the protagonist. Guild Wars 2, I honestly think it's done a fantastic job of it. All of the story is single player. We are all the commander, individually, in our own instances of the game. One of the things I always hated about World of Warcraft is I always felt like I was just kind of parading around watching the main characters do stuff. The only time like World of Warcraft I ever felt like I was acknowledged as like a powerful person in the Warcraft lore was when I was fighting Arthas. When
They
he
have
goes through
gotten
that,
better than that.
well, when he goes through the whole monologue of like, I made all of Ice Crown a gauntlet to bring the strongest to me so I could kill you and make you my generals, and it's just like,
And ultimately, I think that's the biggest problem. Like the hardest thing with an MMO is, like you're saying. I agree that, and I think they've shown this in the past, even through like release or patch notes and stuff, where when they refer to, like you said in the story, commander, you're the commander. But remember when I think it was with the first release of the first raid where they say, no, we took a group of elite soldiers, like it was, or like elite people. Like they don't
Right.
refer to, they're not like, yeah, we took 10 commanders.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
which is
So,
why I
yeah,
always
you're
refer to
not-
the raids as side stories personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gift, you're right. That does tend to be a bit more of an after showy thing. So, final thoughts on psychological profile pieces on Guild Wars 2 characters?
Them, yay.
yeah, I enjoy them. Like I said, I really wish we would have got to see more of Scarlet stuff, or maybe it'll still be creeping around, little traces.
No comment, H?
Yeah, I already. Well, it's interesting. I didn't think anyone would write an article about this, but I always thought that Germanic was like playing the psychological warfare. So, very cool.
Awesome. And I believe that will bring us to the end of this week's show. So, time for the good old outro. Arlie, where can they find you?
I can be found at Arlie82 on Twitter and Instagram. Oh my god, my brain is like places and things.
You can
Those
do
are
the
the best
outro. I
places
believe in
to
you.
find me.
Okay, cool. And Age, where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at AgeNightRoad. I'll be playing Story next week. Probably before game night, because I don't want to rush anyone to do the story if they don't want to do it. I was trying to get something ready for next week, but I'm not sure if it'll be ready. But we'll see. Yeah, that's what.
Well, can't wait to see what's going on. So, finally, Deo, where can they find you?
Well, honestly, I totally glossed over that. Yeah, the release for this is next week, so I'll probably try to play that Thursday or something. Because I usually try to stream Mondays and Thursdays on twitch.tv/ simply_Deo, and you can find me on Twitter, same handle. But yeah, usually Mondays are Warframe, which I already said that since that event's and Warframe's kind of winding down, if there's anybody that needs help playing catch up with some Warframe stuff, it has to be PC, of course. But be willing to help people.
Why? Of course. Why not? Why not console? Is console so inferior, Dale? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, A, I don't own console. B, I'm not going to spend the money to get all the other fashion frame stuff that I already have in PC.
It's
Though,
really,
hey,
really stupid. It's not cross-platform.
I was going to say, well, a lot of people have been peppering. Well, this is going to be after show stuff. This sounds like after show stuff, so I'll let Jim actually close out the thing.
Okay. And finally, you can find me on actually this channel because I have a Twitch account, but I don't stream to it. Twitch.tv/MadRealms. That's 2 A's in the Mad. Tuesday nights, we do random game night. Sometimes it's Uno, where we plague Deo with the Uno AI shorty. And then on Thursdays, I do Guild Wars 2 PvP. I'm doing ranked. I'm back into it. I'm gonna finish my placements before next week. Playing engineer, flamethrower engineer. I already got people salty at me for wondering why, like asking if I have anything in my kit other than flamethrower, which is funny because I do my best to hi, darling. Okay.
I'm going to get you.
Damn it.
my god, it's an eldritch tentacle has attached to your face.
Anyway,
Oh no, I was trying to loop it back into the Jormag thing.
Anyway, got a warrior salty because he can't pay attention to all of my other skills activating while I'm using my flamethrower. But I'm gonna try and keep up with that and actually complete ranked and actually do all of the pip chests for once. But other than that, and then next week talking Skritt, 4 p.m. Saturday. So we'll catch you all there, and you all have a fantastic evening. And that is it for our show. So, ladies and gentlemen, you all have a fantastic evening, and we will catch you next time. Good night, everybody.
I guess.
Saw that pointer on me again.